progressive lawmakers vehemently denounced Donald Trump and Elon Musk on Monday, characterizing their actions as a grave constitutional crisis. The focal points of their condemnation were the attempted closure of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and the unauthorized access granted to Musk's associates within the Treasury Department's federal payment system. This coordinated action, they argued, represented a blatant disregard for the established principles of American governance. Musk's public declaration of his intent to shut down USAID ignited immediate outrage and swift action from Democratic members of Congress. Their attempt to access the USAID headquarters in Washington, D.C., was thwarted, they reported, by personnel acting under the direction of Musk's self-proclaimed Department of Government Efficiency, irony. Simultaneously, USAID employees found themselves locked out of the building, a direct consequence of the White House's announced plan to consolidate USAID into the State Department, a move perceived as a thinly veiled attempt at dismantling the agency. Representative Ilhan Omar, a Minnesota Democrat, passionately addressed reporters outside the USAID headquarters, accusing Trump and Musk of a deliberate power grab, a calculated attempt to usurp the constitutionally mandated authority of Congress in allocating federal funds. The unprecedented actions surrounding USAID followed closely on the heels of revelations that Musk's associates had gained access to the Treasury Department's sensitive federal payment system, a development that sent shockwaves through the political landscape. The potential exposure of millions of Americans' personal financial data sparked a firestorm of concerned calls, flooding the offices of Democratic lawmakers. The gravity of the situation, they stressed, extended far beyond mere privacy violations. It threatened the very fabric of the nation's financial security. Representative Greg Casar, a Texas Democrat and chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, issued a strongly worded statement condemning Trump for granting unaccountable power to an unelected billionaire. He vowed to fight back on all fronts through legal challenges, congressional action, and any other means at their disposal, until Musk was removed from his position of influence and the potential risks to taxpayers, particularly the vulnerable elderly and sick, were mitigated. Senator Elizabeth Warren, a Massachusetts Democrat, directly addressed the situation with a letter to Trump's newly appointed Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, demanding a full accounting of the events that led to Musk's team gaining access to the payment system. In her letter, Senator Warren highlighted the perilous consequences of such actions, warning that this level of access could increase the risk of a sovereign debt default, potentially triggering a devastating global financial crisis. The implications, she stressed, were far-reaching and potentially catastrophic. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a New York Democrat, described the situation as a five-alarm fire, a grave threat to national security, and a clear indication of a plutocratic coup. In a strongly worded social media post, she underscored the fundamental illegitimacy of Musk's actions, asserting that if he desired political power, he should seek it through the democratic process rather than through a blatant exercise in unchecked influence. She characterized his actions as vigilantism of the most dangerous kind, highlighting the inherent threat to democratic institutions. The sheer financial investment Musk made in the 2024 election, over $290 million, further fueled concerns about his undue influence and the potential for corruption. The combined actions of Trump and Musk were viewed by many as an unprecedented assault on the democratic process, a blatant attempt to circumvent the established checks and balances of American government, and a grave threat to the nation's future. The situation, they argued, demanded immediate and decisive action to restore accountability and protect the integrity of the American political system.